Good morning. It is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're 90 days out from June 15th, the DTD2 this week. You're calling your T's and your J's, and you are texting your H's. Calling T and J, texting H. Just makes you roll through. That's all. Whether you're using your phone or your database, and let me be clear, your phone is not your database. I say that with love. Your phone is not your database. Your phone's your talking machine. It might be your Candy Crush machine. It might be your Tinder machine. No judgment. People meet online all the time. Usually not at 3 a.m. But other than that, in the grand scheme, well, no, actually 3 a.m. is a pretty popular time for Tinder. Anyway, we're getting it off track. It's what we do. I apologize. So just understand, moving people from phone to database, whichever database you choose. Here's the thing. Here's the hill that we shall not die on. I'm never going to tell you that you have to use a certain database. You have access to a certain database. There are some people that will be like, well, why wouldn't you use Command? It's free. She's not. There's a line in your agent bill that says consortium. Look at that. That is where you're paying for Command. So here's the question I would beg. If you're doing business and you have access to a database, what is causing you to move to another database? Now, for many of you, you have an answer for that. Well, you know what? I found this one just spoke to me more. I like the way this one looks. It makes more sense to me. So I will say, as your friend and your coach, I promise you this to be true. I want you to use whichever database you're willing to open every day and use. I will repeat that. The database that is appropriate for you is the one that you're willing to open and use every day. Capital V, every day. Not Saturdays and Sundays. And I say that meaning, like, I want you in ardent, eye black, mouthpiece in lead generation Monday through Friday. And honestly, if you're flowing, if you're kicking ass and taking names, we're really not even talking about Monday through Friday. I'm talking about Monday through Thursday. That is my prayer for you. That's a hill I'll die on. I want you doing lead gen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Where should you be on Friday? I'll wait. Walkthroughs and closings. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that? Well, Tim, not everyone's going to have a closing every Friday. No, but wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun pursuing that? Wouldn't that be fun? So as you move through this career, take the names in your phone and move them into the database of your choice. If you just landed, if you're getting started, Command is yours to use. And you're going to use it at some point anyway, because you got to go in there for opportunities, because you got to get paids with a Z. She's not your database. This is your talking machine. And you're like, well, all my people in there, that's a database. Yes, and this doesn't do anything on your behalf while you're taking a nap, eating a sandwich, talking to your cat, going to the beach, taking a nap. Did I say taking a nap twice? I'm burnt. It's only Tuesday, and I'm Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but we're here. This is your talking machine. This is not your database. A database does things on your behalf while you're doing other things. We learned in licensing class that every property has a highest and best use. You as well, my friend, have a highest and best use. And that is getting into conversation, to the kitchen table, having agreements signed. And how do we do that? By making sure we're staying in constant contact, not a sponsor yet, with the people that we know and love and trust. We do that by utilizing our database, utilizing the DTD2, do the database too. And this week we call our T's and our J's and we text our H's. Rant over for now. And I say all of this with love. It is St. Patrick's Day, although the building is purple, because today we have session 3 of Bold in person in Portsmouth. Vishay is yelling at everybody right now. It's a good time. That class, Bold, by the way, 3 more weeks after this. Those classmates will graduate on April 7th. The following Monday, I know you're keeping score at home. You're very excited. What's he going to say next? The following Monday, April 13th, we're going to launch a whole new program called Breakthrough. And on Mondays, every Monday, 9 to noon, there will be a different class. It'll be like a carousel, like, oh, what's this Monday? I'm going to jump in again. Then what will happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in that same time frame, 9 to noon, will be our lead generation. So you're going to see Fight Club get rebranded. It's going to be called Breakthrough. There'll be classes on Mondays, and that same space will be available for you to utilize Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to implement what you learned and, of course, to continue to do lead generation. But we're going to melt it all together. You'll see a little bit of a change in what we're doing. The classes will be on Mondays. That starts Monday the 13th. And then at noontime, right when Breakthrough wraps up and you're finishing your lead generation because you've done 180 minutes because you're a dog, we will have a conversation called the Midday Protocol. And we do that today as well, at noon today, Midday Protocol. We're going to have the conversation about your interactions and conversations, right? And why do I say those two things? Well, a conversation is verbal. An interaction may be a text or a direct message. It is an in real-time communication between two humans. You're like, well, I was going to have them talk to my Claude bot. I appreciate that. But listen, if you're one of the people you're like, well, hey, wait a minute, is AI going to replace us? AI is going to replace you if you're already using AI to replace you. That is a quote from Family Reunion, and it's brilliant. And I'll repeat it. If you're concerned about AI replacing you, you should be if you already are using AI to replace you. And the thing AI can never replace is you doing what you do as a human, your God-given talents that you bring to the table, your fiduciary responsibilities within this thing we call real estate. AI might be able to do a bunch of functionary stuff for you, but the fiduciary stuff will always be on your plate. That all should always be close to your heart. That's important. So our conversations and interactions, we have that. We find that number out. These are our lead indicators, right? Then we talk about your appointment set to sit down with buyers, sellers, and investors. Then agreement signed. That's today at 12 o'clock, Midday Protocol, timsoffice.com. The Wealthy Agent webinar is at 11 today with the Matthew Erdman. That is every Tuesday at 11. The link for that's in the morning news as well. So you're either in bold, you're heading to Fight Club, then we get the Wealthy Agent webinar if you want to jump on that at 11 o'clock, and then we'll do the Midday Protocol at 12. That's your schedule for today. Here's what we know. And this, I will go another layer deep. Here's certainly what I know. When I was selling, nothing that I was nurturing ever came to pass, ever came to fruition, hard T. Nothing that I ever nurtured came to pass or to fruition while I was doing other things. And this is a me thing. It might be different for you because, yes, you've got your database doing things on your behalf while you do other things. I get that. I found more often than not, I would reap what I sowed while I was still sowing, if that makes sense. It was when my head was down, my heart was up, service first, sales second. It was during those morning hours while I was doing more lead generation that the nurtures came back to me. I would get the email, the text, Timmy, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with us. We know it's been 18 months. We know we told you a year ago we were ready to go, but X and Y and Z came up and you've been by our side, and thank you so much. We just talked to Brad. We're pre-approved for X. Let's go shopping. I talk about it all the time when we talk about doing uptime. And I just talked about this last week during orientation. And Amanda will talk about uptime during her session when she kicks off the class. And of course, when I go up and talk about all the stuff going on with coaching and education at the company, I touch on it again. And I use a quote from my great late father. He would always say, a watched boil never pots, because he would always say things to make sure I was listening. Translation, A watch pot never boils. If you stand over the pot and you're just waiting, it will feel like forever for the water to start to bubble. So as my dad would say, a watch boil never pots. If you make a phone call, if you send an email, and then you're like, I'm just going to wait them out. You know, the Jorgensens, they're due. They're coming. It was when I had my head down and my heart up. And it was about service first and sales second that the phone would ring. I would get the text. I would get the email. Or I would just get an agent-to-agent referral or a civilian referral. And I'm going to use a word that makes sense to me. You can insert whatever word makes sense to you. God helps those that help themselves. Luck is at the corner of opportunity and hard work. You might have been in Atlanta. You might be going to Gillette tomorrow, and you'll see people on stage getting interviewed, and you'll be like, oh, I've never heard of her. I've never seen him. They must be an overnight success. That is not a thing. They have been grinding like you're grinding right now, and your time is coming if it has not already arrived. Gary says you can be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. Where are you chronologically in that window? Or do you need to get started today? Our job is to find the person in our city that requires our help and find them, according to Michael Mayer, 7 Levels of Communication. So someone out there needs your help today, fixing their credit, learning about the financial products available to them, understanding the process. They just want their first conversation, and we owe them that. When we got our license in the state that we serve, and maybe you serve in 4 or 5 or 16, when we got those licenses and we threatened to serve the people of that state, be that person again. Be the person that got here on day one. Undeterred by the market, undeterred by what's going on around you. Take care of yourself, do the next right thing, and focus on the person that's looking for your help today, because they are. I promise you they're out there, and they could be on the other side of the conversation that yesterday you might not have been willing to have. So pick up the phone and text or call or message or door knock or go door knock Main Street, introduce yourself to a restaurant owner. Be the person in town that people can rely on for consistency, for market knowledge, and for care. If I can help with any of that, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. I'll see you in and around the market center and the internet. Have a great day.